Ladies and gentlemen, ambition is a beautiful fire inside of you. It's the voice that tells you you're meant for more, that your life has a greater purpose, that the vision in your head can become reality. But here's the truth. Ambition without action is like owning a sports car with no fuel. It looks powerful, it feels inspiring, but it never moves an inch. So many people dream of success, dream of impact, dream of freedom, but they never take that first step. They wait for motivation to magically appear, forgetting that momentum is what creates motivation. And if you've ever told yourself, I know I can be great, but I'll do it tomorrow, this message is for you. Ambition is one of the greatest gifts a person can have. It is the spark in the human spirit that whispers, you are capable of more. You can reach higher. You can become greater than what you are today. Ambition is the dreamer's fire, the vision that pulls people forward. But here's the hard truth. Ambition without consistent action is wasted potential. You can want success as badly as you want air. You can crave achievement as much as you crave food. But if you don't move, if you don't execute, if you don't build the habits that drive results, your ambition becomes nothing more than a fantasy in your head. Think about how many people you know who talk big but never do anything. They say they want the house, the car, the freedom, the respect, the influence, but years later, they're standing in the same spot, repeating the same complaints, blaming the same excuses. That's not lack of ambition, that's lack of consistent action. Consistency is the secret sauce of every successful story. It's not about how much you do in one day, it's about what you keep doing every single day. You can be the smartest, most talented, most gifted person in the room, but if you are lazy with your actions, you will lose to the person who wakes up, shows up, and puts in the work day after day. The world doesn't reward ambition, it rewards execution. You don't get points for how badly you want it, you get points for how badly you're willing to work for it. The people who change their lives, the people who create impact, the people who reach their dreams, they aren't necessarily the most ambitious, they're the most consistent. They understand that the road to greatness is built in boring, repetitive steps that don't feel exciting in the moment, but create unstoppable momentum over time. They don't just set goals, they set routines. They don't just dream, they put deadlines on their dreams. They don't just talk about what they're going to do, they back up their words with relentless action. Ambition without action is like standing at the edge of a mountain with wings on your back, but refusing to jump. You look like you could soar, you look like you could fly. But until you leap, those wings are just decoration. Your life is the same. You may have the skills, the talents, the intelligence, the creativity, but without consistent movement forward, none of it matters. Imagine a seed in your hand. That seed has the potential to become a giant tree. But if you never plant it, never water it, never nurture it, it dies in your palm. Ambition is that seed. Consistent action is the water. Without it, potential dies. Every person has dreams, but very few have the discipline to honor those dreams with action. And it's not because they don't care. It's because action requires sacrifice. It requires discomfort. It requires doing things you don't feel like doing on days you'd rather be comfortable. Lazy ambition is the silent killer of dreams because it convinces you that wanting is enough. But wanting isn't enough. Wanting doesn't build businesses. Wanting doesn't build health. Wanting doesn't create impact. Wanting doesn't put you in the top 1%. Work does. Daily, unglamorous, disciplined work. So if you're ambitious but lazy, you have to ask yourself, do you want to be a dreamer or a doer? Do you want to be remembered as someone who had potential but wasted it, or someone who turned potential into reality? Consistency is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up even when you're tired, even when you're uninspired, even when no one is cheering for you, because you know that each small step compounds into something powerful. When you decide that ambition alone is not enough, that it must be married with consistent action, that's when transformation begins. That's when momentum builds. That's when ambition becomes reality. Because ambition without consistent action is wasted potential, and your potential deserves to be used, not wasted. Dreaming is easy. Everybody dreams. Dreams cost nothing. You can close your eyes right now and imagine yourself with wealth, freedom, health, respect, love, success. You can picture yourself in the house of your dreams, driving the car you want, living the lifestyle you crave. But here's the problem. Dreams don't come with instructions. Dreams don't build themselves. and dreams don't become reality on their own. The only way to cross the gap between what you dream about and what you achieve is through discipline. Discipline is the bridge between dreaming and achieving. Discipline is not glamorous. It's not exciting. It doesn't get applause. In fact, most of the time, discipline feels boring. It feels repetitive. It feels like work. But discipline is what builds champions. Discipline is what creates leaders. Discipline is what turns impossible dreams into tangible realities. Without discipline, your dream will stay in your head forever. With discipline, your dream starts walking toward you one step at a time until one day you wake up living the very thing you used to imagine. Think about every great athlete, every successful entrepreneur, every powerful leader. They all had dreams, but so did millions of other people. What separated them? It wasn't talent alone. It wasn't luck alone. It wasn't even ambition alone. It was discipline. The discipline to wake up earlier than everyone else. The discipline to say no to distractions. The discipline to stay focused on the goal even when the reward seemed far away. The discipline to keep moving when everyone else quit. Discipline is the glue that holds ambition together. It's the structure that supports motivation when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Some days you wake up feeling unstoppable, and other days you wake up wanting to stay in bed. If your success depends on motivation, you'll fail because motivation will not always be there. But discipline is steady. Discipline says, I don't care how you feel. I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if it's inconvenient. You're going to do it anyway. Discipline does not negotiate with feelings. It aligns with principles. That's why disciplined people win. They don't rely on moods. They rely on habits. Dreamers think about what they want. Disciplined people work for what they want. Dreamers wish. Disciplined people act. Dreamers fantasize. Disciplined people execute. And execution is everything. A dream written down with discipline becomes a plan. A plan executed with discipline becomes a reality. Discipline is also about sacrifice. You cannot have everything you want and expect to win. You will have to give something up: time, comfort, entertainment, excuses. Discipline is choosing what matters most over what feels good in the moment. Discipline is rejecting short-term pleasure for long-term gain. And yes, it is hard. Yes, it requires pain. But that pain is the cost of the bridge. The question is, are you willing to pay it? Because the dream on the other side is waiting, but only the disciplined will cross. The beautiful thing about discipline is that it compounds. One disciplined choice leads to another, and over time those choices stack into results. You don't become disciplined overnight. You become disciplined by training yourself daily. You build the muscle of discipline, and just like lifting weights, the more you train it, the stronger it gets. Soon, the things that once felt hard will feel natural, and you'll realize that discipline didn't restrict you. It freed you. It freed you from laziness. It freed you from procrastination. It freed you from regret. Because that's the truth. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. Every day you skip discipline, you build regret. Every day you embrace discipline, you build a future. And when you finally reach the dream you once only imagined, you'll know it wasn't luck, it wasn't magic, it wasn't chance. It was discipline. So remember, dreaming is free, but achieving has a cost. The cost is discipline. Discipline is the bridge, the path, the connection. Without it, you will forever stand on one side staring at your dream on the other. With it, you will walk step by step across that bridge until the dream is no longer a dream. It's your life.